Okay, good morning. We're up to Siman Shin Gimel Seif Yud. We're working through the halachas of tachshitim, wearing jewelry and things like that in the Rosh Hashanah. Zog the Mechaba says the Mechaba in Sif Cotton Yud. Sif Yud. Lo say betabas sheish aleh chosim. A woman is not allowed to go out with a ring on Shabbos, where there's no erev, of course, with a ring sheyesh aleh chosim, which has got like it's a signet ring used in business. V'im yotzo chayeves. And if she goes out, then she's chayeves. U'cheshein aleh chosim lo say. But if it hasn't got a signet ring on it, then lo say she shouldn't go out with that type of ring. V'im yotzo patur. But there, if she goes out, she's potter. Says the Mishnah Berurah, chayeves. The in derech isha loses aleh tabas sheish aleh chosim. A woman is not her way to go out with this type of ring, which has got a chesu on it. Valkein lo have it ketachshit, and therefore it hasn't got a din of a tachshit. And we call mokum derech hitzor hi bekach al etzba. But it is that the derech hitzor to wear it on a ring, on a finger. Because sometimes during the week the husband could give her his signet ring to put away in somewhere in the box, and she'll put it on a finger to transport it home. However, if it's a tabas without a chesem, then she loiseitze. But if she goes out, she's potter. Says in the Mishnah Berurah of Zion, dil meshal for mechavia. The same, the concern we've had all along, that she may take off her ring and show other people. But diavad patura, and therefore, if she does it, she is potter. Lefishil tachshit leisha, because ultimately it is a tachshit. V'aynel b'simin shinalef sif tes huadin ish. So 2 ha'aras, 15. Uvizmanim. He says in 15, importantly, that if the contemporary practice is for a woman to wear this type of ring, we say weiter in Sif Yudches that it's considered a ring, a tachshit, ve'ena masui, ve'yesh lahakel, lotzei spot. Because of Mishnah Berurah, and the Mishnah Berurah will write over there, Shemashikos v'Shulchan Aruch sheyesh lahakel hu apidas hasovrim shekiyom efshel lahakel anoshim letzeis petachshit. And nowadays we can be makel. We'll come to that, the contemporary practice. Now 16 also he discusses what the practice is for men. Sham kos v'Shulchan Aruch shayetzi betabas lechesem, that for a man to go out with a ring without a chesem, afilu menachas al etzbo, kiven she'einen etachshit leish chayav chatas. That if the contemporary practice is for men not to wear rings, that if he goes out with a ring, then it's a chayav chatas. Vayetzi bedasim chesem, and if he goes out with a tabas with a chesem, with a signet ring seal thing on it, shenechsheves ketachshit leish, that's considered a tachshit. V'yesh asovrim shepot aval asa. That there the concern is not the rice, is drabon, because that's his normal attire. However, we may be with choshesh that he may show it to people. Because it's not the sort of the man thing to do, to show off this ring and to take it off and to show other people. That even a ring nowadays could be considered a normal attire for a man, because of Mishnah Berurah that if you see a man in a place where there's no erev wearing a ring, there is what to rely on nowadays. But however, Bal Nefesh will try and avoid it. Okay, Yudalef. A woman shouldn't go out with a brooch. What is that? That it's some sort of jewelry which ties together the openings of her cloak. What is that? That is like a knotted bag which hangs from her neck, and it contains spices that produce some sort of nice smell, a pleasant fragrance. So she shouldn't go out with that. Says the Mishnah Berurah Chavches, lo say bekulyar, but Mishnah Isada al kulyar chayeves chatos. If she wears this kulyar, then it's chayev chatos va'ayin lekame. Okay, shekesheres, and the second thing is the what's it called? The kesher. Sorry, no, we're still at the kulya. The kulya is the tachshit shekesheres, but she ties the opening of her cloak. Pirush says Mishburach of Tes, darka shel kulya lekach. That's his purpose. Aval atza eina Sugeres by Maftuchi Chaluka Ela Toyenes Kachole. It's just been, nowadays it's just worn on her. And if she just wears it like that, without its main function, therefore she's going to be chayav chatas because lo chashiv tachshet elamasui. It's not considered an ornament at all, and therefore it's a masi. It's just to show her wealth. But if it is functioning as like a button to close the openings of her cloak, then mutar lechatchila, that would be fine. Tahari tachshit, and the Chaim adds in the footnote that also because it's a beged and therefore it's that would be okay. V'lo shaykh til meshalfa mechav yadim kain to gala besara. We're not worried that she's going to show off and show people because that will expose the opening of her cloak, and she doesn't want to do that. V'ayim behalacha lamed v'hu kesher. This is this bag of which she hangs spices around her neck, that to produce a nice smell. Ve'isha shereichara to Insoles. A woman who's got some bad odor will wear this. For her, this is considered like an ornament. Again, she should avoid it because she might, the standard gezer, she might take it off and show other people. And so too, similarly, she shouldn't go out with some sort of a tube of oil, of nice smelling oil around her arm. Okay, Yud Beis says the Machaba, Im halser achas mishineha. If one of her teeth falls out, and she puts a sort of a false tooth in, Imhu shel zahav, if it's a golden tooth, Lo seitze boy, she shouldn't go out with that. To kivin shemikushuna, because it looks different to her other teeth. Mishar shinaim dilma mavazula. Maybe people will mock her for v'shoklela or matamya, and therefore she'll be embarrassed and she'll take it out. Avol shel kesef, if it's a different color, a silver one. Shedoime l'shar shinaim, that is different. Sorry, that it's more similar to her other teeth. V'cholshken shen da'adam. But certainly if it's a Shen Adam, that would be allowed for her to go out then. Okay, no Mishnah Bura on Yud Beis. Yud Gimel. Lo say b'minil hakavua lemalo. Hakarua, sorry, lemalo. A person shouldn't go out with a shoe which is torn at the top, because people will laugh at him and he might come to remove it and therefore he'll carry. Nor should he wear a new shoe. Maybe it's the wrong size, it's a new shoe, you haven't tested it out yet, and therefore unless you tested it out yesterday that it fits. But a man is allowed to do both of these things, the Mishnah says, because he's not particularly worried if his shoe is torn or if it doesn't quite fit. And other clothing items, if they're a bit big, we're not worried even for a woman. Yud Gimel says the Mishnah Berurah, Shema lo yavoi v'shal f'lo v'asya l'asui. Again, she might show other people. May esmol, he's got to check it out from yesterday. Afilu rak sha'achas, even for a moment. If you look at 20, he makes the point for today. He says v'lekach bizmanenu sheregilen limdoi disana'alayim b'chanus koidem kinyoson. Nowadays, you try on the shoe in the shop before you wear it, and it's all you know what shoe size you are, and you buy accordingly. Therefore, das hagon Hashem Zaman Arbach by measuring it, by saying I want to buy a size whatever, that's like trying it out, and therefore muteres lot says bohen b'Shabbos. So to wear new shoes on Shabbos is not a problem nowadays. Avol ish muter, and even for a woman, of course. So but for a man, even back in the day, it wasn't a problem. Says the Mishnah Lamadala dat shavayokoi. Because it's going on both, like I said, both on the torn shoes and the wrong size. We're not worried about a man. And therefore we're not worried about other items of clothing. Okay, Yudalit. A woman can go out with strands of hair, sort of woven into her own hair, whether it's her own hair or whether it's another person's hair, even if it's animal hair. So long as it's like, it doesn't look a bit weird that a younger person wearing an older person's hair or vice versa, because as the Mishnah will explain, people will laugh at her. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah. B'chutei seyar sifkat lamadvav shama dakosan al reisha. They're attached to her head. Ve'ein ze peres nochris hamavur lekam b'sif yutches. But this is not the same as a shaitel, as a peres nochris, a wig that is referred to in sif yutches. The asur lo seitz balosh surabim. The hasam yesh ba mishum tachshit. There it's a shaila of a tachshit. Aval hacha hu rak chutin ba'alma. They're just a few threads or strands of hair that she seems to attach to her existing hair. Vafilu basar behema, she's even allowed to add even the animal hair. We're not we're saying that it's disgusting and therefore she might take it off. And the only exception is if she wears, a younger person wearing older person's hair or vice versa. And people might laugh at her. She might take it off and remove it because she's embarrassed. Okay, one more sieve today. Tesvav. You're allowed to go out with some sort of bag where you've got some things to protect you against ayin hara, and with a moich, with like some sort of piece of material, you want to put it in your ear if you've got an earache or something like that. So you're at a chasna with loud music, or whatever it is, to put these things in your ear. Or to wear some sort of pad in your shoe, hakosher b'sandala, which is tied into the shoe. Or minal hasasumim, which is closed on all sides. Even if it's not tied, all of these things is mutter to go out into Rosh Hashanah on Shabbos. But for a moich that she is prepared for her time of being a nida, sheloi yipal dam oleha and she's also allowed to go out with this moich, which she is prepared for her time of nida, that the dam won't fall on her and it won't distress her. Even if it's not tied to any of her begodim, or to her, because it's soiled, etc., then we're not worried that she's going to take it off in public. Even if there's like a handle, it's easier to take it off. Of a pilpul of a garga melach, and some people put things in their mouth which is for fresh breath. For example, palpula, what's it called, a peppercorn, of a gargilt melach, a piece of salt, of a bechol beisem shetitzen lesoich piha, of bevad shletitnem lechatchil b'Shabbos. You shouldn't do it ideally because of refuah. V'im nofa lo sachzer, and if it falls out, then don't put it back in. Of avote shekayim shekoshim b'mashicha soviv shekel, these sort of things you put around your material, you put around your thighs. Afa pi she'ena mashicha kshur bohem, even if it's not tied properly. V'lo chashin shem yishtal shalu lemata. We're not worried that it will slip down. She can go out with this etzadah which she puts on her finger, on her arm, or on her thighs. That as long as it's properly connected, and it won't slip away. There are those who ask those things on the arm. Okay, let's do the Mishnah Berurah on all of that. L'refus kituf. So you put these things on your ear. Sorry, this is going on the thing that you wear. Shelo yishlet ayin hara. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Nira Mishum de Bizmanon have is a boduk l'refuah v'avik k'miyah mumcha. Back in the day, it was considered tried and tested, and therefore you're allowed to wear it. It's like a k'miyah, an amulet, which is mumcha, which is tested. V'lo shayich b'zeh shalif ha'machavid in a dover shal noi. We're not worried you're going to take it off because it's not an item of beauty. Hakosher mahuduk. So this is talking about the ear moich, that you can put that into your ear on Shabbos, that's okay, and walk out into Rosh Hashanah. But it's got to be properly connected and tight that it won't fall out. But it's come to, you've got some sort of secretion in your ear, that's what it's for, and therefore that's okay. Or you put some sort of material in the shoe, for comfort. For gambazeh hodabuin and kasher mishum dilma nofa vasulasu. And it's got to be connected, tied up, that you won't come to take it off and carry it. Masha'enkein b'meichin nidasa afilim yipol lo shakal teklal mishum demois. Masha'enkein the meich for her nida, we're not worried that she's going to take it off. And we dealt with the meich and going out in Rosh Hashanah in a previous time. Hakosher b'sandalo, which is tied to her shoe. For that one, it does need to be connected tightly. It's like a sort of what's it called, a pad in your foot, in your shoe, a sole, like an inner sole, an insole. Yeah. Mikol Sad la fuke pantis shelon, which is like slippers. He says they're na'ale bayis, that you wear at home. Because that's not sort of closed like a proper shoe, then yesh chashosh be'ena kosher. For that, there's a chashash if it's not tied up properly. That you might come to, it might slip off in public wearing slippers outside in Rosh Hashanah on Shabbos. It might slip off and you might come to carry it. Mem Hey, this is Vitzareno. This is talking about where the nida that the dam might come and onto herself, and she might cause her distress. If it's just to avoid staining on her clothes, also we said previously, then that's a problem. The whole heter for her to go out with the moich is only if it protects herself, that it shouldn't soil herself. But if it's to protect her begodim, then it's also. Okay, Beis Yad, even if it has a Beis Yad, that she can easily access it and just remove it. She's still, even still, we're not worried that she's going to remove it in public, in Rosh Hashanah or in that situation. Of a palpul of a gar melach, a peppercorn or a piece of salt, palpul reach hapeh, that's to help bad breath, or melach lechole hashinaim, or salt if there's some sort of toothache. If you look at 25, he says an interesting thing. Yeah, 25. V'chele shetzarich loseis l'shrabim im trufa shu alol lizdokik lohen b'chol rega. So if you got, let's say, a chele nebuch who needs to go out with some sort of medication on Shabbos, so the example he gives, in chele sakeres shetzarich lolechsim zrikas insulin. You've got a diabetic or someone who needs to take some insulin. Das hagonim shemen zaman arbach. He writes, "Shekiven she'achshav ein mishtamish bohen, ein lahatzil lotzesim mohen." There's no real heter; he doesn't need it right now, and therefore he shouldn't be carrying this if there's no erev in Rosh Hashanah on Shabbos. Ela im kein yotzim b'shinui, unless he does it with some sort of shinui. Kagoin b'toich magba'asoi. We'll see how he does it with the shinui. And you don't carry more than you actually need. Okay, back to the Mishnah Berurah. This is Mem Ches. What's this going on? So this peppercorn or salt that you put in your mouth, you shouldn't put that lechatchila. Says the Mishnah Berurah Mem Ches ubilvad lo koi el ad somich lo mashen nesenes letochbia. Aval reishel in moich loy. But with regard to the moich, no, the shama fil lachatchila mutar b'Shabbos. But with the moich, that's absolutely fine. With this ear piece, that your material putting to protect the secretions from your ear or in your shoe, that's mutar lachatchila, so long as it's tied, it's firmly inserted. V'das kamachrenim du adin the mutar liten teven lachatchila b'Shabbos min alayim shelanu, to put some straw in your shoes, hasum mikol side, which are proper shoes from tied up from all sides. V'nochen lahachmir b'zeh im lo be'es hatzorech. Okay, shaloi titneim. This is going on. Again, the peppercorn and the salt. Because you shouldn't really be taking any sort of medication on Shabbos. It comes under the issur of shchikas hamonim. It looks like a little bit of a harama that you're sort of like a trick. You're taking it out to carry it somewhere. If you've got a little bit of material in your ear, firmly inserted, that's not a harama. People realize you're doing this for the reason of the secretion or whatever it is. If this piece of corn or salt falls out, don't put it back in. Because now it looks like it was a harama. Because it's like you're doing it for the lechatchila in the first instance. And therefore it's caught by the gezeira of refuah. The only problem would be, therefore, if it falls on the ground. Okay, good. Nun Aleph. These materials you put around your thighs, with some thread, it's tied up. That's okay. Says the Mishnah Berurah Nun Aleph. Even if it's like a decorative type of thread, the support this tying it up. It's also not considered the tachshit, the name of the shalfa machavya, that you're going to take it off and show people. Because it's there to serve the malbush. Or it's like a handle of the beged. You're not certainly not going to remove it. That you don't want the item of clothing to slip down. Nun beis b'mashicha hashibol eleket u'b'shar rishonim isa b'mashicha oiberetzua. They add those words. U'v'zenicha mashe siyim v'loy chashin shem yishtal shalu ha'mashicha retzua koi v'chei muchach b'smak. Okay. Be'etz Hashem medichim b'Israel. And this thing you put around your arm, there the Mechaber said, you're allowed to go out with that thing around your arm. It's firmly attached to your arm and it won't slip away. So the Nun Gimel, I'm a bihalocha. The Mairi Shemanicha Mahatkal Basara, it's actually on your flesh, not above the clothing. And therefore it's okay, because it's under your clothes, you're not worried. We're not worried you're going to sort of take it off and show people. And that's the same reason for the item of clothing around your thigh. And the Yesh Oisrin says that B'Shel Zroya is not allowed. That we only allow it, for the thighs, but not for the arm, because that you might come to take off. Shatei devuka dimhi refuya. If it's got to be tight, but if it's loose, then chashin shemetipel v'osil asuye, and she may come to carry. Okay, good place to stop.